We're going straight into this today, family. Yep, 777. Thank you, Brother Abdullah Seer, for sharing that with us about how important this day is today. Put that over there in the community section, his post. I said a lucky day. All these sevens, 3, 4, 7, 7 cycles. Right, year is 7, day is 7, month is 7. It says all praises to the Most High. We have this opportunity to use these energies for our benefit once again. We give you guys a chance to get notified and be able to come on in. Say, gonna get over here in beautiful Chino Hills, California right now. The home of the Ball brothers. Yes, beautiful time right now. So we're going to get into this. I said because we're noticing a pattern. When he says, when the Most High has opened up your eyes to understand a lot of things, you see how the enemy tries to do preemptive strikes a lot of times with information. They understand that things are going to come out, so they try to, set the tone or set the narrative before the Most High actually brings true understanding. Just like the camps were set up at first to start to give us the introduction, an introductory understanding of this truth, but then they try to limit us to only reading 66 books. You see what I'm saying? And then he said it's very important that you understand that. Like the enemy seems it's a pattern, and so when you understand that it's a pattern, then you can recognize it. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about Camp Mystic. Camp Mystic, and you got to understand that the vast majority of the people, 99% of the people around you are playing parts, right? So it doesn't mean that there's this lady who talked about the white people at Camp Mystic and they got what they deserved and this and that. And I think, I'm not sure, I'll put a couple of videos, but I think she was a pastor's wife, quite possibly, So if you guys have heard about that, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I said, when you start to understand like the narrative, the true narrative of the Most High, then you start to look at the events that are going on, but you got to look at them from the Most High's chosen people's point of view. You know what I'm saying? The Most High's chosen people's point of view. You can't look at it from this Gentile point of view, Psalms 83. Like, you got to understand, like, when you get this understanding about the these tares, these immigrants, these vassals, and these blassels, then you got to understand that just about everybody around you is being used to create a narrative, right? Create this narrative, okay? Like, all of a sudden, these kids passed away because of this flood, right? All of a sudden, they're like, because this one woman was talking about, they got what they deserve, blah, 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 whatever else. Everybody's like, all of a sudden, these kids haven't even been found yet. These kids are innocent. And, and how could you even fix your face to, what kind of an evil person are you to even talk about these kids got what they deserve? They were innocent. They were this, they were that. And I'm like, okay. All of a sudden now, as you can see, the narrative is to start using the innocence of kids. Trying to use the innocence of your guys' kids. Because I said, you haven't given a shit about our kids. In fact, you had a womb law, and you pretty much said that any kid that was born to a slave was pretty much going to be a slave. They were going to inherit the situation of their mother, right? So they're going to inherit the situation. So you guys set laws up that pretty much, put kids into slavery. And you put kids into being 3/5 of a person. You put children into being property, to being animals, to being chattel slavery. And you did this for hundreds and hundreds of years. And then when you said that they weren't chattel slavery anymore, then you made laws that pretty much, and then you made circumstances all around them to make these kids pretty much be criminalized in order for them to be continued to be slaves, right? So you haven't cared about our kids this whole time. But all of a sudden now you want people to have empathy for your children. You see what I'm saying? You use our children as alligator bait because you looked at them as not being human. So therefore you did all these horrible things to them and you made it a law. So all of a sudden now you want to talk about the purity of your children and the things that, you know, if they have to deal with certain stuff, you know, you can't talk about it being God's will. I don't understand quite how you guys understand how you guys can say things like when bad things happen, that that's not God's will. When the Most High says he creates good and he creates evil, the Most High creates all those things. Please put that in the chat for me. Please put those verses in the chat about how the Most High creates good and evil. So when good things happen to you, don't just, you know, you contribute that to the Most High. But then when bad things happen to you, you act like the Most High didn't do that as well. You see what I'm saying? So that just shows, like I said, the hypocrisy of the system. Because, yeah, you guys only know things from the perspective of a blessing. You haven't gone under the curses. And that goes back again to Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Please put that in the chat. Psalms 147, 19, 20 talks about how the Most High gave these scriptures to Israel and the judgments, like you guys haven't known them yet. So therefore, you don't know how to look at things from the perspective of curses, but you will. But you will. Because that's the way you need to look at things now. The cursing of the blessings are over for you. Okay? So, when you start looking at things from the correct perspective, then you start to understand things better. You guys aren't going to understand. I said because you don't want to understand. You don't want to understand the fact that you've lost your blessing. You still want to believe that you got blessings coming. Or, you know, see, this is even like you guys' breakdown of prophecy. I told you guys about prophecy and how important prophecy is, right? Because if you don't have the prophecies right, then when you go and stand in front of the Most High, what's he going to tell you? I never knew you. Because it talks about that in the Bible, in Matthew 7, 21, 22. How you're going to say, have I not prophesied in your name? And he's going to tell you, I never knew you, because your prophecies are all wrong. So even when you guys talk about your rapture, and you guys made your movies of Left Behind, and the first one, where all of a sudden everybody disappeared, and all the children of the world disappeared. That there shows you how off your prophecies are. Because when we had to go through our punishment, our children didn't get out of it. In fact, our children bared the brunt of it because they were born into these horrible situations. They had a whole lifetime of being born at the bottom, being born and treated as animals, being born from jump and being treated, you know, as 3/5 of a man or not even human. So this is all about the sins of the fathers, okay? This is all about the sins of the fathers. Now, something the Most High gave me yesterday, I was going to go back on and talk about it. I said, you know, I'll just wait till today. You know, see if the Most High wants to give me more. And he did, because he gave me more, because all of a sudden these videos keep popping up all over TikTok about this black woman who talked about these children and how they, you know, they got what they deserved. And it's like, first of all, she went into the whole thing about it's all white camp. See, that's what they want. They want you to say something about all white people. It's all, when that's how they get you into these little, they corner you into these certain things. I'm going to say Psalms 83, because it's not just white people. Just maybe that one particular incident was, I said, but look, everyone that's had their hand in our destruction is going to pay. Whatever level that is, that's up to the Most High. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. It doesn't, and to me, it doesn't concern me. Okay? Because it's the Most High that's doing this right here. It's the Most High who, he knows which families need to pay. And then the people on the comments are always, because again, it's all Psalms 83. Oh, this was a sacrifice. This was a sacrifice by the elites. No, again, this is all the Most High. Was it a sacrifice from the elites when they were killing our babies too? Was it a sacrifice from the elites when we were treated as not even human? Or was it the Most High that did all this? And see, this is what they do. They always want to deflect. Exactly, right? They just want to deflect all the time. Exactly, Brother Sly. The Most High is the ultimate elite. He is the elite. Okay? So, Now, rock with me here. Listen to this. This is what's going on with the movement of people and the lands. Okay? Let me get my other phone so I can pull up the verses real quick. Because once you get this understanding, then it's going to make sense as to what you are seeing. Okay? Now, the Most High talks about the lands, and the lands have to be cleansed. The lands have to be cleansed. Let's go to Numbers 35 and 33. When you understand this, Numbers 35 and 33, then you're going to see what's going on. Numbers 35, 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Okay? So, when you understand this, who were the people, 1492? The Spaniards. What did they do? Shed our blood. Where? All over the land. Which other groups of people came over here? Dutch, French, English. They came over here. They killed our people. They defiled the land. So those are the primary people that defiled the land. After they defiled the land, after they got control of it, control the resources, control the land, there's only so many of them, right? But they kept bringing their people over in the 1900s, right? But after 1865 was predominantly what? It was probably predominantly white and black. But I think actually we outnumbered them in quite a few different areas, with the mulattoes and everything else, right? So now you got lands all over Tall Island, from the top to the bottom, that have been defiled, right? The land has been defiled. How? With our blood, right? Okay? So we got a defiled land that's got our blood soaked all over the place, just like Cain and Abel, right? So what do these people do? They know the land's defiled. They know eventually the Most High is going to have to cleanse the land. And he's not going to cleanse it just with water. He's going to cleanse it with the blood of them that shed our blood. Okay? But this is going to happen hundreds of years later. They got it in 1492. This is going to happen when the Most High shifts everything. Right? The land is still being defiled. Exactly, Davida. Right? Now, they allowed all of these immigrants to start coming in the 1900s. And then that was like a lot of them from Europeans, more white people, right? But the lands were already defiled. So they might have killed some of us here and there, whatever else, but most of it was done before they even got here. Then in 1965, they allowed a lot of the third world immigrants to come in here. And they've all been working together to say things like, we don't deserve reparations while they're enjoying our reparations. We don't deserve justice while they're getting the justice that we don't deserve, that we deserve, right? They're getting everything that we deserve, but they're getting it and they're telling us that we don't deserve it, right? Okay, so we got that. Now we're into 2025. You got 2017, one X right there, one line of the X. 2024, another one. Bam. All right. Most High's already marked it. We already know. We already have the video and the papers with the dove over America, right? So now in 2025, shit has just gone crazy. Stuff has just gone ape shit now, right? All of a sudden now you see the curses, they're now switched, right? And now they're gone on Psalms 83. Also now you got Trump, who's wanting to remove many immigrants, right? And they don't care if you're a resident. They don't care how long you've been here. You know, you got to prove that you've been here for over 2 or 3 years. And he's a, I don't care if you want asylum. You know, you need to get the hell up out of here. The Supreme Court said I can remove 500,000 of Cubans, Argentinians, Haitians. All these people want an asylum, and they wanted to kick them out and make them leave, right? Well, if and when they start removing even more and more and more and more people, or people starting to self-deport because they can't live here because, you know, they're not getting the benefits anymore, they're getting the freebies, now they can't afford it, who's going to be left? Who is going to be left? Exactly. This is the, we will be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and who else is going to be here? We're going to be here, and w I'm waiting for you guys to say, who else is going to be here besides us? Esau, Edom, exactly. Who and what did Edom do to us a long time ago? What did Edom do when they got here? They were the ones that destroyed us. They're the ones that are going to have to, what's going to have to happen to them in order to cleanse the lands now? What's the Most High going to have to do to them in order to cleanse the lands? Now you see Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. That would, those people who actually did the killing back then, because that's what these people act like, oh, well, those people aren't here anymore, so therefore, you know, we're good. No, that's not how the Most High works. The Most High is going to have to shed the blood of them that shed our blood on these lands. So see, most of you migrants, you guys immigrants, you know, you guys weren't the ones, like I said, some of you might have, you know, done it, you know, down your bloodline or whatever else. And the Most High will make sure that you stay here, or wherever you go, you're going to have to pay. But you guys are going to still be here because you guys act like I'm making America great again. So I'm getting rid of the immigrants. So therefore I can enjoy these benefits more. There's more for me. That's what a lot of these, you know, Edomites and colonizers seem to think. But that is not why you're being left here. You Edomites, as well as select immigrants, are being left here for a purpose. They're not talking about deporting you right now for a purpose. Look, colonizers, you were the first immigrants here. It would only make sense that you would be getting off these lands also. But the Most High is like, nah. Leave them here. I got a bigger purpose for them. I got a bigger purpose for them. So just let them stay. Let them think that they're going to be able to inherit these blessings again. Let them think that somehow they're gonna put the black man down, or gonna make him work for them again so they can continue their silver tsunami and join their silver tsunami. No, that is not why the Most High is leaving you here. That's why the Most High is not touching you right now. You see what I'm saying? So you immigrants, I said, you guys had better understand. This is what happens when you don't understand what's going on. The Most High might be removing you right now for your own good. Now, I don't need to say anything about color. All I got to do is just look at those Trump signs his bill, his big, beautiful bill on July 4th. And in that night, like, it didn't even make sense, like how the water rose that fast and swept through Camp Mystic and killed many people. But last I heard, there was like 27 people that died from Camp Mystic, between children and like the workers there. Now, if you don't think that's the Most High, 27 is 9. 9 means destruction. The Most High gives us information, understanding through numbers. It's a Constantine Christian camp that has been here for 99 years. 9 plus 9 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. Destruction. And it could have been more, but what I saw last on the news was 27 people from Camp Mystic, between the children and the workers. I'm sure there's another 9 in there somewhere that we haven't seen yet, which would make 27, which is again 9, which would means destruction. that what Big Levi said? He spoke to the Messiah and everything's okay. Yeah, I saw him make some kind of the Pope make some kind of a statement about our prayers are going out to the people. We're not. Your prayers aren't being listened to, Pope Leo. No, but the only one who's listening to those prayers is no one. The God that you are praying to has no power. Yeah, I was just talking about the 27, but even the 80 that they said is still talking about, it's infinity, and like an infinity sign. It's a, restoration sign. Exactly, Christian. They're not talking about the camping sites, around the surrounding area. Just focus on those children. Exactly. Yeah, Leo is a cowardly lion, right? Exactly. So you can believe, you people can believe whatever you guys want. Oh, they haven't even found all the bodies yet, and you're sitting here making these kinds of comments. That's what these people in these videos are saying. Remember now, when you guys shot, Most High is going to treat you the way you treated us. We had our children would get gunned down, and you guys would already be like, well, what did he do? Well, he should have listened. He wouldn't even be in the ground yet. You guys are already making, you're already making excuses for the police officers and their actions. You would I would find some way to justify what the police were doing to our people. Well, what did he do? He did something. He wouldn't have just got shot unless he did something to deserve it. I would be our kids, but you guys wouldn't be saying anything. You wouldn't be saying you shouldn't even be saying anything like that because, Blue Lives Matter. You really shouldn't be saying because he's not even buried yet. Well, it doesn't matter, he must have done something. If he didn't do anything now, he did something before, or he was gonna do something in the future. You see what I'm saying? So see, this is how it is with them. So all of a sudden now things are starting to happen to them, and they're like, you can't say that. You don't know, and it's like, I don't need to say anything. The Most High is saying it all. The Most High is saying it all.
To, you or your husband, but in reality, what you're doing can have a negative. Y'all caught the fucking news on me? So, Sade, however the fuck you say your name, you out of all people, especially you being a pastor's wife, should know your image as his wife matters. And the fact that you're going around on TikTok and social media in general spewing nothing but hate, I'm thinking that you think nothing's going to happen to, you or your husband, but, in reality, what you're doing can have a negative impact on your husband's career. Either he could get fired, demoted, whatever the case may be, in a congregation, because the video I found on Facebook seems like your husband is a pastor at a very old style church, which means you guys believe in old style values of Christianity, Lutheran, whatever the case may be, because I didn't look that much into your guys' church, but I did find a video with your husband in it. And your husband's white, and you're on here spewing hate to all the white children when you married a white man. That's funny. Not funny, haha, but funny. And then you're spewing hate to your child, however old he may be. I don't fucking know, because I don't know you from Adam, but you're telling your son, choose your white friends wisely. Well, the same case may be.
So hold on, that one.
Could be for a white person saying.
Here's another one.
The Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They want you to have sympathy for these people. They want you to get out of your bed and to come out of your home and to go find these people and to donate your money to go find these people. Now, to say that this is disgusting behavior from a creator is an understatement. She left this video up, and she has gotten it from all sides. Her comments are disabled, where we cannot comment anymore. No one is agreeing with her. We are all disagreeing for very obvious reasons. At this point in time, there are over 70 people that are unalived, deceased from this flood that happened in Texas. There are over 20 missing children. Right now, as we speak, there are people on the ground, first responders, rescuers, life-flighting people from treetops because of this flood in Texas. And there are over 20 missing children.
And this woman has the audacity to come onto TikTok and state that putting on your rain boots and helping find these missing children is racial injustice. I don't know about you, but when I saw the news about the flood in Texas, which is happening right now, my first thought was not, oh, what's the race of the children that are missing? What is the race of the hundreds, if not?
So a lot of these videos are popping up, but again, where was all the worry about the children that have been getting raped by priests? Where's all this love and concern for children that were found in septic tanks when the Catholic Church was, supposedly taking care of these kids, and all these kids popped up in septic tanks, all these dead bodies, exactly. That's what I don't understand, like all of a sudden now we're worried about children. Where was all the stuff about children when, they were getting tied to alligators, trees for alligator bait? Where's all this, where's all this worry about children when the Catholic Church pays off $700-800 billion, but the people who raped these children are still allowed to be working at the church? None of them go to jail, so they get to continue doing. They just get moved to another area so he can find some fresh children to have intercourse with. So again, I don't understand why all of a sudden now you're trying to use like children and your concern for children when you've never cared about children before. There have been children who have been missing every day. Our children go missing all the time, and you don't care. You have ICE going out here, tearing families apart, putting women in ICE facilities, and their kids are in school, and there's nobody there to take care of their children, and you guys have said nothing about children. So it kind of seems like you're only concerned about certain types of children being missing, because when our people have gone missing, you don't care. You see what I'm saying? But you talk about how you're Christian, but your Christian church justified our children being raped, stolen, sold, used as alligator bait, because your churches were the ones that said that we were chattel slavery. Now, if you want to say, oh, well, that was a long time ago, you are still benefiting from the system that your churches set up that said that we were not human. You are still benefiting. Where do you get your silver tsunami money from? Where does most of these companies from these that are on the Fortune 500 and that have all this money on the stock market, where do they get their seed money from? From the enslavement and the mistreatment of our people. Exactly. We got so many of our kids missing right today that never been found, but we're supposed to care about your children. You see what I'm saying? Like, you guys are picking and choosing when which children seem to be important and seem to be, hey, you can't say anything about these children. You see what I'm saying? But this is the Most High. And that's what I just find so absolutely mind-boggling with these people. I said, because when bad things are happening to us, it's like, well, God's going to take care of it. God's going to make it right. He'll make it right. People will have to pay. But then when people start paying for these things, all of a sudden that's not God now. Like, I don't know, the Most High is going to dictate who gets what. It has nothing to do with me. Has nothing to do with us. 30,000 missing children in Ohio 2 years ago. Crickets, right? So, when it talks about having to shed the blood of him that spilt it, it can't be the ones that that actually did it, because they're gone. Those ones are gone. Those people are gone. So it can't be them, you know? So you go to Lamentations 5 and 7. When you go to Lamentations 5 and 7, our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. We have borne their iniquities. And that's what you're seeing going on now for Psalms 83. Psalms 83, you are going to bear the sins and the iniquities of your fathers. No matter, no matter how you look at it, that's what's in the Bible. And like Ogor says, well, you're like an old school Christian, or there's no such, an old school, because they probably have different beliefs than the new school Christians. The new school Christians, that Jesus loves everybody and Jesus wants everybody to win. We have not been winning. So but what they want to do is they're going to use somebody from Psalms 83 to go out there and say something ridiculous so they can jump on that person, because they already know, that their time is done. So all they're going to try to do is get out in front of what the Most High is going to bring to me, or someone like me, or someone like you. The Most High is going to give us information, right? And then we're going to be ready to bring it up, but then they're going to try to jump in front of it. They're going to try to jump out in front of it. That's what they're doing now. It's just jumping out in front of what the Most High is bringing. But it's not going to work because, like I said, we've been in this battle now for quite a while, for a few years, and we can now see how they work. Whenever you start seeing something get big with them, it's them trying to get ahead of something. It's them trying to get ahead of something that the Most High is about to bring out. They're going to try to get ahead of some understanding of the Most High, because they know the secrets. They know that the Most High is going to make them pay for the sins of their father, just like we had to. We've been paying for the sins of our fathers for hundreds of years. Now they're going to try to make it sound like if anybody says anything like that, you're a horrible person. You're a horrible person for bringing out the fact that I might have to pay for the sins of my fathers, that these children might have to pay, even though you made laws that made our children animals. You made laws that put our children at the bottom. And then you brought over immigrants that would just pretty much regurgitate what you told them to. Anything that you told them to say, they regurgitate it. That's part of being, that's part of being the whole thing with them being part of Psalms 80. Like, you guys were the ones that brought these people over here. And now it's, like I said, they have nothing to say about reparations because you guys weren't even here. You weren't here when we were going through what we were going through. So therefore you have no say in who deserves reparations and who doesn't. You see what I'm saying? Like, these other nations have nothing to say about who deserves reparations and who does not. Who deserves what, who doesn't. They have nothing to say anymore. Right? Put a bullseye on our babies' backs for hundreds of years, and then now you want to talk about what's happening to your children when you've never even tried to make things right about what happened to our children. That's what I don't get. Like, how do you guys think that you've never tried to make anything right? You've never tried to make amends. Fucking I'm sorry. I don't want no I'm sorry. Those are just words. There's actions. So if you think saying I'm sorry while you keep all of the silver tsunami, yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So again, hey, and if what I'm saying is wrong, prove me wrong. Really simple. Numbers 35:33. Prove it wrong. Lamentations 5 and 7. Prove it wrong. But your pastors ain't going to say anything because they're not saying anything about absolutely anything anymore. They're not saying anything about this truth. They're not saying anything that can disprove this truth, right? Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and talk about white people, black people, brown people, because, again, those are all things that you made up. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as a white person. There's no such thing as a black person, right? That's not what we are. You're either a sheep or a goat. That's what you are. Either you're, like I said, where are all these, before the immigrants were really quick to jump out here and, oh, you black people, you don't deserve reparations. That's something that happened 150 years ago. Again, were you here 150 years ago? Because it didn't happen just 150 years ago. It happened before that. This country that you are enjoying was not made by immigrants. This country that you are enjoying was made by Israelites, not immigrants. Immigrants came here to steal and take advantage of our money that was promised to us. So you guys did not build this country. We were the original Mexican, the original Honduran, Guatemalan, Brazilian, all those people that you guys see now. We were the original people who built all those areas. We were the original Incas. We were the original people who built all of this stuff. And then you come over here and you get that 40 acre and a mule. You get the benefits so that you can live a much higher standard than you lived at your other country that you came from. And you talk about, oh, well, the United States, destabilized our country, so that's why we had to come over here. That wasn't me. That was the people that you call God. That was the people that you praise today. So you're in no position to complain about them destabilizing your country when you do everything to emulate those people. You don't say anything to the white man about him destabilizing your country. You don't say anything to him at all. Even today, when he's throwing you guys, he's sending you guys home, sending you guys out of here, you still don't say anything about him. You still try to talk about us, black people. I don't hear you guys saying, you'll say something about Trump, but again, you don't say anything about the white people that voted for him. And that's it. Reparations is not up for you guys to decide. The Most High is not even dealing with y'all like that. And you better be happy, I said that he's not dealing with y'all like that. I said, because the Most High already told you. He said he's going to cleanse the lands. So you already showed you in the Bible how the Most High says he's going to do that. So yes, you guys are getting upset. You guys are saying one thing to the white man who's the one who's making you guys leave. You're not saying anything to him, but you try to fix your mouth to say something about us. So the Most High will let the ones that need to be here stay. Either they'll be cleaving, right, to the Most High's chosen people, and they'll be here in a righteous land. You see what I'm saying? I said, but you guys came over here, you cleaved to Esau. So again, that was getting ahead of everything. Like I've been telling y'all, everything they do is about getting ahead. So a lot of you guys came over here and you guys cleaved to Esau, and you guys got, you cleaved to the colonizers, and you had the opportunity to enjoy the lands in an unrighteous kingdom. But see, now the Most High is raising up his people, and now the ones that cleave to the true people are the ones that are going to be able to stay in a righteous kingdom. But it's all starting right here, right now. So all these videos, like I said, I'm going to find the one. So I saved the one with a couple of black dudes, of course, and like I said, it's easy. Those are just blassels. Blassels out here running their mouths for the man as well. Oh, you shouldn't be saying this. I'm like, again, what she says, she's part of the group. She is part of the system. This pastor who said all this, she was just set up so she can say whatever she wanted to say so that all these people can make their videos. That's all that it is. It's very easy to say. It's very easy to see. She's a pastor of a white pastor. Now, she's a wife of a white pastor. So she's part of the system. So she's not stepping out and doing something different. She's saying what she's been told to say. You see what I'm saying? So let me play this other one.
Are mourning right now for the loss of their children. It's 80, the one that put out that horrendous video talking about that it's God's will that these children in the camp have lost their lives. She put her platform are private now, so you got to request if you want to follow her. And TikTok, thank God for them, has removed her video entirety off her platform and banned it to the shadows of her. But when you make a post like this through social media, once you go and it goes viral, all you gotta do is look for it, look for the stitch, look for the duet in the search bar, and you'll see what we're talking about. This girl, Sadie, married to a pastor, married to a white guy. The church that he represents is all about BLM, Black Lives Matters. So it kind of makes sense where her hate and her racism comes from. Unlike her, over on this platform.
So all of a sudden now, you see how they control the narrative? Oh, the church is about Black Lives Matter, and that's the racism. Like as if somehow we have any power to be racist whatsoever. Like I'm not affiliated with her church, or any of that kind of stuff, but it's just funny. Now, and then whose will is it then? Whose will is it then that if people live and die, or when tragedies happen? You see what I'm saying? So again, this is another way to control the narrative. Yep, they love control, and then they'll put a black woman out there to sit there and say something. Then oh, she has a white husband. Yeah, well, why would she even be saying anything anyways? Exactly, because they're trying to control the narrative. Let me play a little bit more.
We have the ability to pray for Sadie. We have the ability to say that you really should find God. You really should pray to your Lord and Savior. And I think that you should take a break from social media, because everything that we do here is completely opposite from the message that you are trying to portray and get across. You brought racism into children that are losing their lives. You brought racism into children that have yet to be found. Mommies, daddies, families, loved ones are mourning right now for the loss of their children. And the only thing that you can come up with is that maybe God washed their C word, there's I don't even.
So you hold on.
From the message that you were trying to portray and get across, you brought racism into children that are losing their lives.
So you brought racism into children who are losing their lives. Is that not what Constantine Christianity has done this entire time? You brought racism into everything about children and children losing their lives. Our children were hung, raped, destroyed, all because of your Christianity, because of your beliefs. I showed you guys in 1502, the Spanish church, the Spaniards and the Catholics said that black people were 3/5 of a man. And for hundreds of years, you treated our children like animals. And now all of a sudden, was that not racism? Was that not racism this entire time? You guys, even to today, you guys still, you've been sitting here profiling our children forever. And you still act like that's not racism? You act like somehow we're equal. We've been treated equally when our children are born. Your children are put up here, ours are down here. Yours are born with silver tsunamis waiting for them. Ours are born with nothing waiting for them. How did we get to this point? This didn't just happen last week. This has been going on for hundreds of years. You've set up laws for when our kids are born, they're already looked at as suspect classification. Outside of a society. All these laws set up against them, while yours are up here. But somehow, if someone says something about having to pay for the sins of their fathers or whatever else, don't talk about that right now because they're still looking for the kids. Many of our kids have never been found, have been, lost. And you guys now want to cry like somehow what you guys are, you're being racist. But like I said, she has been set up to say these things. So if these guys make their videos, their response videos, and get thousands and thousands of views and thousands of people to pay attention to them. Talking about how, firefighters would not say they're going to, and they see black people inside the burning buildings and leave them there. Cops would just beat our people for no reason. Cops would plant evidence on people and, get them caught up. They would have evidence that would free people and they would leave it, hidden. And then when they found out 20 years later on, oh yeah, we had this right here. So we'll go ahead and let them out, but we're not gonna give them any money, any restitution, no anything. So see, you can miss us with that because you're gonna say, oh, did that happen to you? It happened to my people. It happened to my people. And that's why we are in the situation we are in today. So, yeah, you're gonna get thousands of people that are going to agree with you and whatever else I said, because you're the vast majority of the people in this world. That's why we stay out of it. I don't need to sit here and say anything about it. I said, because the Most High, my angels, the angels that are for our people, they're visiting you. They are making you very anxious. They are making you, very leery of your future. You see what I'm saying? Like, hey, that was the Most High does evil and he does good. You guys are having a hard time with this concept. I said, you know what I'm saying? I said, because he creates evil, right? And he creates good. Most High does all these things. Looking for this one video, hold on. This one, check this out, because it seems very suspect that, but of course they're gonna say it's the elites or whatever else, but the amount of how fast the water rose compared to the last time it happened and how much rain it needed doesn't make any sense. But of course, see, y'all don't believe in, the other nations don't believe in the Most High. They don't believe the Most High does these things. So therefore, that's why they got to put it on the elites and their sacrifice. Why can't it just be the Most High? Because you don't believe that he does those kinds of things. Because you don't look at what's happened to us and believe it, and understand that happened because the Most High said so. The Most High ordained that we were going to be at the bottom. The Most High ordained that we were going to have to pay for the sins of our fathers. Y'all don't want to believe that, so therefore you make up things like, oh, the elites are doing this. The elites did this, because you wouldn't believe that the source would do these kinds of things. But he does. And that's why you don't look at, that's why you guys, you immigrants who came here, you don't want to look at history past like 1960s, 1950s. You don't want to look at the fact that in the past, the Most High had his people at the bottom. Because then once you have to grapple with that fact, then you know that eventually your people are going to have to be put at the bottom and pay the Most High for your sins. So check this out.
Grok, when's the last time the Guadalupe River crested over 35 feet?
The last time the Guadalupe River crested over 35 feet was on July 2nd, 1932, hitting 39 feet at Comfort, based on National Weather Service.
How much did it rain during that period?
During that 1932 flood, on July 2nd, around 35 inches of rain fell over 36 hours in the Guadalupe River basin.
35 inches of rain, huh? How much did it rain on July 4th, 2025 in the same area?
On On July 4th, 2025, in the same area around the Guadalupe River, rainfall was much lower, with around 6 to 10 inches in most spots. Though some areas
So 6 to 10 inches, but it caused generally the exact, it rose by almost the same amount.
Yeah, it's wild. 6 to 10 inches on July.
There you go. Grok, when's the last time the...
So it rained 6 to 10 inches in January 4th, 2005. But the time it happened before that, it rained for 3 days for like 36 inches in order to do the same amount of damage, or for the river to grow the same amount. How is that possible? And then, you see, they don't want to say, oh, well, the Most High is in charge of that. The Most High did that. They're going to say, oh, no, that was the elites. Oh, no, it was because, oh, the satellites were down. Oh, they didn't get the rain forecast. That. You never heard of them say things like, oh, that was an act of God. They don't want to say things like that. Like, if that's an act of God, because then it's going to open up things like there's acts of God against so-called Psalms 83. They don't want to believe that that's an act of God against them. That is the Most High, because yeah, it went raining for 3 days for 36 inches. Most High is like, it was at the worst possible time, 4 o'clock in the morning when everybody's asleep. It was only 6 inches of rain, 6 to 10 inches of rain in a short amount of period. So, see, they weren't expecting that. You're not expecting for it to crest 30, 35 feet with only 6 to 10 inches of rain. When the last time that happened, was, decades ago. And it took 3 days and 36 inches of rain for it to happen. So the only other explanation would be an act of God. 4 months of rain in 4 hours. They said like a whole month of rain in an hour, or something stupid like that, right? But see, people don't want to believe that, the Most High would do something like that. They don't want to believe that the Most High he creates good and he creates evil. But again, you go to Proverbs 1 and it says, the Most High is going to laugh at your calamity. He's going to laugh when your fear comes. He's going to laugh when your anxiety comes. So you don't want to believe that either, though, right? Like, that's not possible either, right? You want to say, oh, that's just being racist. Well, okay. Well, can we say it was racist then when you guys were doing that to us? Because you did it to us for hundreds and hundreds of years. Was that racism? Oh, no. Those weren't real Christians. That's what you guys will say. When we talk about the history of your church, oh, no, they weren't real Christians. Yeah, they were. Because you're still taking that real Christian money. You're still taking that real Christian influence. You're still taking that fake Christian, status in society. So like I said, this is how the Most High is working. I said, you got to take the good with the bad. And that's the problem with these people here. People in this society, Psalms 83, you took the good thinking that the bad would never come. You've got to take both. You've got to take the good and the bad. And that's what you guys are in. You guys are now entering the bad. So you got to take that too. You got to say, Most High, we made mistakes. We were wrong. We treated your people wrong. We enjoyed, the strained wine. Now we have to drink the dregs. And that's what you guys are fighting against. You guys are fighting against the fact that you're going to have to drink these dregs as well. Most High is about balance. The Most High is about balance. The gravy train is over with for the immigrants. You guys got a chance to come over here for the last 60 years and enjoy these beautiful lands. You enjoyed all of the blessings that were here. I said, but now, that opportunity is over with. Now, the people who shed our blood all over these lands, the Most High is coming for you. He's coming for your descendants, just like he came for ours. And see, I can say these things because that happened to us. That happened to us. So why would it not happen to you? See, we know that Bible way better than you. We can go from the beginning to the end. We're not stuck going into just Paul and then just twisting scripture. When is the Most High going to, when you stand in front of the Most High, are you going to be the ones that's going to say, I prophesied in your name, right? I cast out demons in your name. I prophesied in your name. And he's going to say, depart from me, because I never knew you. How is he going to know you if you're not about justice, if you're not about equal weights? The Most High says, that these unjust weights are an abomination to him. Do you not think that you never having to pay, you thinking you never have to pay, is not an abomination to him?
Last time the Guadalupe.
Right? The fact that you think that you don't have to pay for the sins of your fathers, that is an abomination to the Most High, because that is an unjust weight. That is an unjust weight. It's not just about money. It's also about treatment of others, doing what is fair, doing what is right. So have you treated us right? Have you been fair with us? Have you tried to make things right? Have you tried to return what is ours? Have you done any of those things? Now see, the fact that you know the answer and you don't make any effort to make things right shows that you are happy with unjust weights. You are totally content with unjust weights. So the fact that you are content with unjust weights means that you agree and that you are an abomination to the Most High. You are an abomination to the Most High. So how can you sit here and talk about, see, you're not even in any position to talk about the Bible anymore. You were never in a position to talk about the Bible because you do not believe in just weights. So therefore, when we listen to you talk and you try to break things down, you're trying to break things down from the perspective of an individual who believes in unjust weights. Which shows you again that you have nothing to do with the Most High. If you say things like, oh, I don't have to pay for the sins of my father, oh, that wasn't me, again, the Bible says otherwise in Lamentations 5 and 7. So you're going to see a lot more. Like I said, I'm not going to come out here and fall into that dumb trap about talking about color, skin color. I said, because it doesn't matter, because there's plenty of people that look just like me who are also Edomites, who are also going to have to pay. But see, that's what you guys do. You guys find someone on your team to run out there and say something stupid like, oh, this is because of the color of their skin. Okay. If that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's so stupid. I said, it's the spirit that dwells in that individual that the Most High is going after. He's going after the spirits. He's going after what spirit dwells in that particular individual. And he's bringing them home. He's taking them back to the spirit realm in order for them to be judged. And really, you guys should think about that. 6 to 10 inches of rain within an hour. All of a sudden, the river just swells to what it took. When you were in your blessing, it took 3 days and 36 inches of rain in order for that river to swell up to that same size. It took 1 hour, now that you're in your cursing, for that river to pretty much get that size and sweep down there and kill all these people. The Most High is showing you the difference between when you're in your blessing and when you're in your cursing, because bad things will happen and there won't be reasons for it. All of a sudden, Trump is shutting down satellites so that you're not going to get any warnings, about big events, big storms, or whatever else that are coming. Why is that? He doesn't want you to be able to prepare for what's coming. See, it's not really his job to prepare you for what's coming. You guys need to start looking at things in a spiritual sense. Trump cannot prepare you for what is coming. He cannot prepare you for the death and destruction that is on tap for you. The only people that can prepare you for what is coming are people like myself. Trump is just pretty much telling you that when he shuts off these satellites, that he cannot prepare you for what is to come. Your Psalms 83 cannot tell you what is to come. They're not in any position to warn you about what is to come. See, this is all spiritual. The only people that can really warn you of what is to come are the Israelites. That's what that meaning of him shutting down those satellites are. The Gentiles' time of being able to tell you what's coming in the future, telling you about prophecy in the future, telling you what's going to come, what the Bible says in the future. When he shut down these satellites to not give you a warning, is because your warning's already been given. The warning is being given by the chosen people of the Most High. This is the warning that you're getting right now. You got the warning today about Numbers 35 and 33. That was a warning right there that you're not getting from your pastors. You're not getting from your priests. They're not giving you any warnings whatsoever. They're very, very quiet. You see what I'm saying? This is the difference. You're not getting, okay, so hold on. Let me go real quick. So see, most people are only looking at things through their physical eyes, right? Let me see. Hold on. They're not telling you about Micah 4 and, well, Micah 4 and 10, okay? Hold on. Micah 4 and 10. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail, for now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Most High shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemy. That is what you're seeing right now, the redemption of the Israelites. We are the ones that have been redeemed, not your churches, us. Now also many nations are gathered against thee that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. So that's the Edomites, but that's also all of these other immigrant nations that were brought over here to look down on Jacob. That was your 1965, 2025, 60 years of them being in charge. So again, Micah 4 and 11. Now, if it's not right, prove me wrong. Now also many nations are gathered against thee. Come on over here to America. Chase your dreams. Come get those benefits. Come over here and get all the stuff that you want. You know, we'll supplement your life so you can live deliciously for the next 60 years. Now also many nations are gathered against thee that say, let her be defiled. You don't deserve reparations. You don't deserve any of that kind of stuff. You don't deserve to be healed. Let her be defiled. You black people are nothing. We're going to get all of your money, we're going to get all of your stuff, and we're going to enjoy it, right? Let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. You guys have been looking on Zion for the last, you immigrants since the 1900s, and then from the 1960s until now, right? But they know not the thoughts of the Most High, neither understand they his counsel. For he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. See, you other nations have no understanding. That goes for the Edomites. That goes for all of Psalms 83. That goes for the Blasphels and the vassals. All of you had no understanding about what's going on. So again, but they know not the thoughts of the Most High, neither understand they his counsel. For he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. Is he not gathering us right now? Is he not gathering us right now? You're going to see him standing up boldly in front of all of you right now? 13. This is what you guys are about to see. Arise, arise, and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hooves brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto the Most High, and their substance unto the Most High of the whole earth. So see, some of you guys are getting removed, but some of you guys are going to stay. And then you're going to see the change of the Israelites. We're going to be made anew on our own lands. And if you're stuck here, that is going to be a woe for you. So see, this is the real understanding of him shutting down these satellites and shutting down these, these warning systems, because they can't save you anymore. Yep, so 13 is huge. Micah 4 and 13, arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hooves brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and will consecrate their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. Now look, 10 happened. Micah 4 and 10 has already happened. Micah 4 and 10, has already happened. Micah 4 and 11 has already happened. Micah 4 and 12. But they know not the thoughts of the Most High, neither understand they his counsel. For he shall gather them as the sheaves in his flock. That is happening right now. So trust and believe. Micah 4 and 13 is about to happen also. So see, you're getting your warning, but you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it from them. You're getting it from us, because we are the ones that bring light to this world. We are the ones that bring light to this world. Trump's telling you, he's not going to come out and just say it. Okay? He's not going to just come out and just say it. He's just going to make his little points. He's going to shut stuff off. Micah 4 and 13 is going to be in effect very soon. Micah 4 and 13 is going to be in effect very soon. So thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm going to let you guys go right now. It was good to be together, and I'll see what the Most High gives me for later on. Right? And the scriptures, like I said, that's it. So someone was asking me about the information about if I wanted to support or help. It's in the description box in the videos. Okay, so information is there in the description box if you want to support. All right? Much love, family. Shalom.